Welcome world, how are you doing? Welcome to I Wish I'd Known This Before. Simple truths, great impact. Let's talk about guitar cabinets. I mean real cabinets, not IRs or modeled cabs and no FRFer, meaning full range frequency response cabinets. These are frequency corrected cabinets you might want to use with a Campo or an XFX. So, traditional guitar cabinets. And let's focus on the sound in the room you are playing. So obviously no headphones or studio monitors, just an ordinary guitar cab. In the past months I had some inspiring discussions that made me realize that most of us underestimate the contribution of the guitar cabinet to the sound you hear on stage or in the room you are playing. We talk guitars and amps, but not so much about the cabinet. And you'll be surprised how many guitar players, if you ask them directly, how many of them think the cabinet influences 50% of the sound, or even more. Now, I don't know if this is true, but that would leave only 25% for the amp or the guitar. I mean, now that changes your perspective, right? We are so focused on amps and guitars that we neglect the cabinet. I suppose because it is not as sexy as an amp head or a guitar. Anyway, to test this, I did something, and maybe you want to do this too. Take a cabinet of your choice and use different amps through it. Now, it does not make sense to compare a Fender Blackface with a clean sound to a Diesel with a high gain sound, because obviously they are on the opposing ends of the tonal spectrum. Let's focus on one sound. So in my case it was high gain amps. So I chose my Paul Reed Smith 2x12 with Celestians in it, and then I alternated between my Angle Invader real amp and different Camper direct profiles like the BE100 from Friedman, 5150s and Paul Reed Smith Argents and the likes. And then I dialed in similar sounds, so as I said, chunky high gain rhythm sounds for me. And I was surprised how similar those amps sounded in my room when played through the same cabinet. And I realized that even though in my head I knew the cabinet is a filter that has its own imprint on the amp sound, I too underestimated how much the cabinet shaped the sound I am hearing. As a result, I exchanged the stock 4x10 speakers in my Marshall cabinet I have back from the 80s. Now there are greenbacks and 1030s in that. What can I say? Best decision ever. I highly recommend you do this test yourself with the equipment you have available. If I had realized how cheap I can better my sound by focusing more on the cabinet than just on the guitars and amp heads, man, I would have done it earlier. My whole buying strategy of the last 20 years would have been different. And I now understand, or better understand, why amp manufacturers insist on you buying their cabinets too. Because only then you get the intended sound. I mean, yeah, it's a matched cabinet. I always felt this is just a sales page. Man, was I wrong. Simple truth indeed. Hope this helps, and till next time.